Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another railroad development stream. Today we are going to be continuing with what we were doing yesterday, and that is working on the Gradle tab and obviously the Gradle plugin as well. I think we can just go ahead and get started. So let's look at where we are. I don't exactly remember where we even left off, to be honest. I've been working on different things since then. So let's figure it out. We were doing something with the settings plugin because we realized yesterday that we needed to make a settings plugin as well as our project plugin. Now, I don't recall anything more than that, to be honest. So I mean, I think we were probably done with everything here. And I assume we were probably on our way to actually testing it in Railroad. I think that is actually the case because I believe if I build the project, we have some errors. Let's have a look, though. And we can find out. The other thing I can quickly do is just look and see if we have any changes in here. It doesn't look like we do, and therefore I'm guessing we are currently correctly on 1.2.0 for this. Let's just go back to Railroad and have a look what it says. Yeah, okay. As expected, we have a bunch of issues. A ton of issues. Okay. Hello Lone Wolf, welcome to the stream. So if we delete that, we should be able to figure out what the solutions for these are. So basically this will just become a railroad Gradle task. Like that. And in fact, everywhere in this entire project where we have, or where we are referencing a Gradle task model, so all of these, we need to find replace them. Now, I don't know if IntelliJ has a find replace in files. I don't think it actually does. Oh, it does. Okay, in that case, we may be able to just do this. Let's try and see what happens. Okay. And then we're going to have a bunch of issues with these because these are now get names. Hello, Rat. Welcome to the stream. This is also going to cause us some issues. So this will become a domain object set of a railroad Gradle task argument. So domain object set of a railroad Gradle task argument. That one. And it's actually question mark extends that, but that's fine. That will need to become get name. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of fixing at the start of today's stream. So I mean that's fine. It's just gonna be a little bit boring. There's probably a way that we could do this faster. But yeah, I don't really know how that would work. So this is the plan. We're just going to have to do it like this. Be like that. Oh, this is a argument. Go. That's meant to be get name. That's meant to be get description. And then I think we just have a similar thing here. So yeah, this gets us the project. And then can we just do get task? No, we need to do the modules, and then for each of the modules we've got to get the task. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So what I have to do then is I have to... Okay, this is going to need massively optimizing later on. But right now, I'm just gonna flat map that to railroad module. Get tasks. No, not like that. It needs to be module dot get tasks dot stream, and then convert that to a list, and just say is empty. Obviously, that's not necessarily ideal, so we can just make that a variable, which will be the Gradle tasks, and then that allows us to just use these. So what is this? If Gradle project path is equal project model dot project directory. Okay, I think we should get rid of this actually, and then just do this, which gets us our module like that. And then we can do if the Gradle project path equals the module directory. So that's actually a path, so we can actually just get Gradle project, I think. Only problem is that gives us a file, not a path. We can use get path, but that's not really what we want. Do we not just have a path? We can do get project, and then I think we can get the path from the project. No. Okay. Okay, in that case, we'll have to do get project directory dot to path, which isn't ideal, but that will work. And then we can just return module dot get tasks is not equal to null, and module dot get tasks. And it doesn't like that because, yeah, that's true. This is going to be a pain. So we'll have to stream to list. Yeah. And that's fine. I will just do this. Or 2 occurrences, and then this is the tasks, and then that kind of fixes that. And then we can do module.project.getModules.stream, and then we want to just flat map that to be able to do module.getTasks.stream. Filter objects is not null, find first or else list of. Don't know why it doesn't like that. Okay, that's fine. Can you listen to Smooth Opera? No, why? Not do that. How many times do I have to remind you that we can't listen to copyrighted music? Okay, wait, what is this complaining about? This. Okay, that needs to be that. Or someday you will say yes. I'm not ever gonna say yes. It's not gonna happen, Wide. If I was streaming on Twitch, then sure. But YouTube would not get happy with me. So. Okay, we need to fix all of these. This is going to be a pain in the bum. This one as well, which will become this one and this one, and then this one, and then that fixes most of that. That just means that here, this one as well. I think that's all of them in this class. Let's see where the next issue occurs. Okay, in here. So what is this? This is the Gradle model service. Okay, is this being used? Yes. I don't necessarily know if that's actually what we want. The biggest problem we have is that I'm not caching anything. Okay, what is this? That's a list of Gradle tasks. I mean, we don't even want a list of Gradle tasks. We want a list of railroad Gradle tasks. And then we can map that to the model. And then Gradle build model dot projects dot get modules. No, we actually want to flat map that. And then stream it. Oh, we can't because is this an optional? This is an optional. Okay. I see. So we stream, then we flat map. So this is actually not projects. This is now modules. Modules.stream.flatmap to module.getTasks. Okay. I hate this. I hate this so much. I might get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of those. I'm just gonna completely eat them. And we'll deal with that later. Okay. That just needs to be got rid of. I assume this will need to be question mark extends. And probably the same with this, to be honest. As well. And then we'll look at what the next issue is. So import that. A couple of issues here. So Gradle project path will just be task dot get module dot. How do we not have the path of a module? This is crazy. The only way I think is to get the Gradle project and then get the project directory and then to path, which is yucky. But task.get name. This needs to be the task dot module dot get name. That's task.get name. This needs to be the task dot module dot Gradle project dot project directory dot to path. And this needs to be task.name. Okay, let me just do that. Right, next one is in here. So that will be this. Boom. This will be... yeah, so that's going to cause issues. We'll come back to that, though. Okay, this, we just need to get rid of that import. Boom. Okay, this needs to become... Create a project module. What is this again? I don't think we need this anymore. I don't think this needs to exist. Really, this should be a railroad module. Like that. And then this will be a string to a railroad module, which will be railroad module. I think we have get path, don't we? No. Okay, we're missing some pretty crucial things then. We need a way to get the path of the module. Let's come back into here and let's figure out why we don't have that. I assume there's a reason we don't have that. So, let's go basic railroad module. This takes in a parent, but more importantly, it just takes the project. Now, I thought a project has a path. I think it does. Yeah, it does. Get path. And then I think it also has this as well. So, I mean, we can use that. So we can use get projects. I think gives us the... the only problem is that gives us the railroad projects. It's interesting. Yeah, the project just returns the parent. We actually want this, but we can't get this because this is in the API. So, therefore, we can use this. I think we should... Let me go back to this again. We could do module dot get Gradle project dot get path. That works. I'll come back and fix that at some point. This also needs to be railroad module. So this will just be the module, and this will need to be the railroad module. Get key.gradle.project.path. I really hate that. You know, I'm going to change it now because otherwise I'm going to completely forget. So what we need to do, we need to come in here and we need to have a string get path. And then also a path get project directory. And then we can just override both of those. So get path. Oh, return project.getPath. Get project directory. Return project.getDir.path. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and... I think I'm going to bump by a minor version for this because it's not anything crazy. So What's going on in this stream? We are hopefully gonna finish this Gradle tab stuff. I really wanted to get it done last time, but we're a little further behind than I anticipated, so it is what it is. But if we can just get it done today, then I will be happy. I also don't think we're going to get it done today, because this is going to have to be a shorter stream than usual today. So we'll see. Okay, let's publish this. Didn't Alex work on it? The plan originally was for Alex to work on the Gradle tab. But you know, if we're being realistic, he wouldn't have been able to do all of this. So, you know, I mean, it didn't pan out. I think I overestimated how easy it would have been to get this done. But yeah. I don't think he did the whacker time. Yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he's finished that yet. I'm not sure. I actually don't remember what the last state of that was. It might be done. But if it's done, it will need completely rewriting at some point. Because I have to redo the plugin API at some point. There's so many friggin' things I have to do. It's actually kind of insane. Like, there's just so many random things across Railroad that I need to do, and I just don't have time to do them. Like, I can't keep up with it all, man. What do you mean? I mean it doesn't exist. I literally just published it. Did it not publish? It probably didn't publish, did it? We try again. Gotta get some more devs. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of a lot of things that, like, only I can do, in a way. Because not necessarily that I am the only one that knows how to do them, but more so, I'm the only one that knows how it could be well integrated with Railroad. That's the problem, because I know the existing code base, so it makes it a little bit tricky. Okay, I've lost where I was. Aha, this. So this just needs to become module dot get path, which means that can become a method reference, and then this needs to be get path. Okay. And then anything else? Train the devs up. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to sit here and train people, man. If I don't have time to work on it, then I certainly don't have time to train people how to work on it. Because that just takes even more time. I don't know. I mean, after next Wednesday, so that would be the... Okay, so after the 10th of December, I'm going to be pretty free for a while. So that'll be good. But until then, I'm going to be too busy to do pretty much anything. Which... I mean, we'll see. Maybe I can work on things a little bit at work, I guess. I probably can, actually. Because I'm free quite a lot of the time. Kind of. Not really. Kind What's wrong with this? Oh, this needs to be a railroad module, which we can rename to module. This, I think, also is a railroad module. And then this is module.getPath. This is railroad module. Do you listen to BBN? Oh, I've never heard anyone call him that, but yes, I do. Bro, can you get a lime to stop being a sore lemon and get him on the stone box so we can play again? Bro, there's nothing I can do to convince him. You guys are gonna have to convince him. No, what is this? Oh, this is fine. This just needs to be that. I can't wide. There's nothing I can say. Because it was my idea that we did the entire thing originally. Okay. And maybe I'll talk. I don't even know when I would talk to him. But I don't have time for like anything. I'll talk to him about it tomorrow. Why is this complaining? Why type greater project? Oh, I see. Because I'm literally like, as soon as I finish streaming tonight, I'm literally just going to bed and going to sleep. Because I'm gonna have to be up at like I actually don't know what time I'm getting up tomorrow, but I think like probably 5. I think I'm gonna be up at 5 tomorrow. So why is this complaining? Because apparently, oh good lord, this is the module docs. Get project directory. Get project directory. Wait. This is just getting the path of the build script. I think that already exists. I think if I do yeah, this. I can just do get build script, get source file. Actually, this entire method becomes a lot easier. I can just return that. It's getting an 8-hour call with. I don't have 8 hours. The only day I have 8 hours that I could use is Saturday, or kind of Sunday, but like Alex works on Sundays, so not really Sundays, which means it's just Saturdays. And I'm usually doing other things on Saturdays, like more important things. So God. Okay, are we? Why is this? Oh, that's fine. Wait, is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. All right, fantastic. Next error. Fabric extractor model. Oh, good lord. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so this just reads the fabric.mods.json or whatever it's called. I don't even remember what it's called. It reads that file. Does it actually say here what it's called? Fabric.mod.json. That's the one. Okay. And then it uses this to get the build file and do all those shenanigans. What is data? Fabric facet data. And why does that have to have the build file? That's weird. I don't see why that... Wait, it doesn't. Oh. Oh, interesting. I don't know why it needs that, but sure. Okay. Okay, well... Oh, I'm gonna have to rewrite the friggin' facet system then. I need access to the project, but I guess that's just not ever passed in. So my best bet is just to go in here. And then if I refactor, change signature, add, and then do a project refactor. Okay. Then what that allows me to do is pass in the project like that. Okay, and then just pass projects. Oh, project's already in here. Oops. Oh, wait, that's kind of silly then, isn't it? Was this one even ever used? I think this one just needs to go. And I think this one needs to go. And this will just be at not null projects. And then these can go, like there's no need for those. And then in fact, this can just straight up take the project now. And then this can just be project.getPath. And this can be project.getPath. And then all of this needs to become, if we go refactor, change signature, I can get rid of the path. Refactor. Okay, which makes that a lot easier. So that isn't actually a major refactor. Now that does somewhat cause an issue because the 4 implementations are going to be broken. So I can do path is equal project.getPath. Solves that. This is still going to cause an issue. Yeah, I mean that just needs to. Yeah, this just needs to go. And then what I can do is I can do project .get Gradle manager .get Gradle model service .get cached model so that gives us a Gradle build model, which is kind of fine. We just want to then grab the fabric data model, fabric data, and then forge data model, forge. We'll skip the forge one for now. actually. So we've got root directory, and then we have fabric data. Okay, and then what I can do, I can do the Gradle model service. Gradle model service dot get cache model dot if present. In fact, we can just map it to fabric data, and then say if present fabric data model set yarn mappings version, set fabric loader version. I mean, probably a thing we want. Set architecture loom. I don't know if this is actually like a thing, to be honest. Copilot kind of just added it in, and I'm guessing it's probably correct, but I don't know. I can come back to that later anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. This can just go. And then the only other thing is the build script. So I need to do set build file. And I think that's something I can get from here, right? So I can use the Gradle model service dot... Oh, I need the cache model for that. Okay. In that case, this will be the Gradle build model. And then this will be the fabric data. And then we can use the Gradle build model. Not that, Gradle build model to get the project, to get the... Oh. I don't know how you would get the root build file. That's not something I'm... That's not something I'm doing anything with. Is that a thing that I can do things with? I think so. And I'm choosing not to. Because this just takes in a project, ultimately. Which has a... It has... Trying to find it. Actually can't find it. Well, somewhere it has a script thing. Script. Maybe this. Is it this? Yeah, I think this is probably it. Yeah, because then you can get the source file. I mean, to do set source file. I'll just leave that as a to-do, I think. Okay, let's build the project and see where the next error is. It's going to be in one of the other facets. Yeah, the Java one, specifically. Okay. So... Okay. For the most part, this will be fine. As build file, yeah, okay. So this can just go bye-bye. And all I need to do is take in the project project. The project. And then project dot Gradle manager dot get Gradle model service dot get cache model dot if present no, I don't want to do if present. I want to map it, I think. Because then I can get the project, which allows me to get the Java language settings, which then allows me to get the Java version. Which I can then just return. And here I can say, or else Java version dot from major -1. Only problem is this exposes the wrong Java version, the wrong like type of Java version. But I can get the major version. So therefore, I can probably just return Java version from major and pass that in. And I assume maybe that will work. I mean, I don't know. What's this complaining about? Or else is ignored. What have you had for dinner tonight? Tonight I had a roast dinner. Had some good old gammon. Very good. Okay. Don't know why you're complaining. But sure, that's fine, I think. Oh yeah, those need to go at some point. This just needs to be rewritten from scratch. But I can come back to that when necessary. This can go. I don't think. I mean, this isn't really necessary. I guess, but wait. Oh, I see. Wait, it's so stupid. You're not gonna open a single Java file. That's silly. This is also silly. Let's just get rid of that. And then this will become project.path. This will become project.path. And this will become project.path. Boom. And we have one more error. Yeah, this actually also needs to take in at not null projects. Projects. What trimmings did you have? I have no idea, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, we are talking about you whilst you're not watching. Oh, why would I know? Why? Food is food, man. I just eat it. Oh, does that just... Yeah, that just needs both of them. Bro, I had... okay, I know it's gammon. That's all I know. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, what is this? Yeah, because now this needs... Oh, this is gonna be effort. Okay. So I can do fabric data model like that. I think actually this won't be much effort, will it? Okay. Oh. Okay, interesting. Okay. What's this? This just doesn't need to exist. I mean, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Oh, this is so much effort, and I can't be bothered. I don't know why, but I'm just really not in the mood for railroad right now. Because I think I've broke so much shit that I'm like, I can't be bothered to deal with it right now. I mean, this is fairly simple. This can just be project.getPart. Do some... I am tempted. I could. I mean, I can do a temporary fix here, which is just to do project.getPath. And I'll just plonk a to-do in here. To-do, rewrite this to use the Gradle manager. And then just say the project, sure, whatever, that's fine. Okay, what are the other errors? Let me at least find out what the other errors are. Okay, so it is just these two, which isn't the end of the world. Like, this isn't a huge amount of effort. It's kind of still a pain in the butt, though, because I'm not hashing them. Which means I kind of need to go ahead and rewrite up a little bit of this, just so that it has some... I don't know that it should cache it, though. I'm curious, what does IntelliJ do? I'm going to have a look at what IntelliJ does, and then, depending on what IntelliJ does, I might stream some Mystic Factories instead, which would be very weird, because that's not my usual streaming thing. But, okay, let's have a look. So, IntelliJ, Idea Gradle plugin. Okay. I'm not sure I'm even going to be able to find what IntelliJ does, actually, but I'm going to try. Okay, chat. So, I've got to look for something related. It's probably in here, actually. Maybe not. Okay, good night, Lone Wolf. What am I looking for? Maybe like tasks. No, because I guess that's going to be like the actual tasks IntelliJ has. I'm also looking for how it gets the task. Like, what is this? No. Okay, that's not helpful. Yeah, a lot of this I think is actually just to like launch IntelliJ, like using Gradle. You can launch IntelliJ using Gradle, which is kind of weird. I don't know why you would do that, but you can do that for some reason. Models, maybe? If I go like No, none of this is useful, is it? What am I looking for? I don't even know what I'm looking for. Let me try and find idea module. Is that even a thing? Right, let me search for idea module. But why is it bringing me to the... Okay, chat. We're pivoting the stream. I can't do any more railroad today. Because I'm going to lose my shit. So, I don't know how this is going to work if we pivot stream. But, okay. Let me edit the title. I'm not going to bring that up, just in case. I mean, I could probably have brought it up, but... Okay. I'm going to... Okay, I don't even know what to title it. What do I title it, chat? What do I title this? I'm really bad with titles. It takes me a really long time to come up with a title for things. Creating a lightweight Java game. Maybe? Yeah? Sure. Okay. And I'm just going to have to yeet the description, I guess. I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, but it's not like a great title. I'm going to have to end the event on Discord as well, because otherwise that's deceiving. So, end event. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me just check that's fine. It's just not a great title, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest why it's not a great title. Like, it's very undescriptive. I don't know. I guess it's fine. I'm really bad at titles, but I don't think that's a great title. But whatever, it will do. Okay. Let me just... Yeah, maybe that might be better. Yeah. I agree. That's better. Okay, fantastic. Let me just also do that. And do that. Okay. So, I guess I'll show you guys what I have. I actually don't know if I can really show you guys what I have. But we're going to try this. So... Okay, I can't. I didn't think so because I did change a couple of things. So one thing I actually will do real quick so that I can get this working, and probably because I should do this anyway, is just do this. Nope, not that one. Not that one. This one. Okay. So I'll show you guys what I'm up, where we're at in a second, or where I'm at with this, and if this runs, which hopefully it should. Okay, so currently, this is what we got. So we've got a main menu, lovely UI, yeah, definitely. Pretty basic. It's just some buttons and stuff. So I press settings. This kind of works, but it like also doesn't really work. You can see like that's behind everything, which I know why. It's because I'm doing it in the render method, which is why I've just been adding this post render and pre-render. That's fine. I can fix that later. or in a minute. And then the actual game itself is nothing exciting, I'll be honest. It's just me moving about and going across the stuff. So yeah, not much else to say. So yeah, I want to fix the settings because I'm trying to do the whole UI stuff at the moment. So I have built a kind of basic UI framework. If I go in here, I have a GUI class, which is what, like but everything stems from this UI element. So you can go either to a UI element, either to a GUI, or you can just use it like raw. Like you can proper raw dog it, which is what I use for the HUD. For the I actually forgot where it is. It's in the client, I think. Yeah. Which is just the position of the player, and that's on the HUD. But yeah, I'm trying to build everything also to be multiplayer compatible, which is not turning out to be super easy. So it means like, I mean, I've already made it so it is split. So there is a client and there is a server, and then when you're on the client, it runs an integrated server. Compared to when you're not, it theoretically runs a dedicated one. I haven't done a dedicated one yet, but it should be doable. And yeah, this is just the, I think this is called in. Why is this called two different places? Don't know. I don't remember. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Because right. Yeah. Okay. It's weird, but yeah. I'll probably change that at some point. Yeah. So that's just the main menu GUI, which is just a widget list. Help, my typing goes from right to left. Now, how do you feel? What do you mean it goes from right to left wide? What have you done? So yeah, this is just a widget list, which is like a JavaFX, VBox, or HBox. So I choose a vertical one, or I could do a horizontal one. And then position, spacing, add a button, add another button, add another button. Pretty simple, to be honest. I also render the background, though that's not, there's kind of no point me doing that. Because you'll see, so if we run it right now, this is the background. If I don't call this, it will be pretty similar. If not exactly the same. Is that exactly the same? I actually can't really tell. Ideally, I would be able to run it twice, which I probably can do, right? If I allow multiple instances. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this even works. Okay, it is actually quite visibly. Wait, is it? Yeah, I would say. Oh, I would say there is a difference. There's definitely a difference, but it's not a major difference. So that's just using render background. I'm probably going to keep render background, I think. I'm also going to turn off multiple instances because I prefer to be able to just rerun. But yeah, that's just because it renders with an alpha. So it makes it a little bit darker. which is fine. At some point I'm going to add blurring, but blurring is just like kind of a pain in the butt because you have to have a shader for that, of course. I do have it from my old project though. I wonder if I can I don't think I can really transfer it because my old lightweight Java game library stuff was all lightweight Java game library 2, and this is lightweight Java game library 3, so I don't think I can really reference it. Let me see if I can even find it. Yes, I found it. So this is it. And if I go shaders, no, it's gonna be in here, maybe. I don't know where this is gonna be. I thought it was a shader, but maybe it's not. Oh, yeah, it's going to be in post-processing. Blur. Here we go. So if I go like blur.fragment. Or I guess it's more the blur text that does most of the stuff, right? Yeah, kind of. It's kind of just a pain in the arse anyways. Question, is this game basically going to be industrial? No. Well, not really. It's going to be like... I'm kind of aiming for something a little bit similar to Factorio. Kind of. But it's going to be like more... I don't know. Fictional. More fictional, I guess, is what I'm aiming for. So yeah. So not really, because Industrial is going to is kind of aiming to be a bit more realistic. I say that, and then I am kind of developing the Lumen depths in Industrial, so you know, but it's going to be different. Also, that this is top down, of course. So, you know, in that case, it's very different. Okay. So yeah, what was I doing? I was making the drop down. So if I go into the UI in the widgets here, I just have a drop down widget. And I also have a scroll list. I don't think the scroll list really works, but I actually can't really test it yet, so we'll see. But in the drop down list, if I look at post render, yeah, so I have the selected view, which is basically the... So if I run it real quick. So the selected view is like windowed, right? So that's what it's showing right now. So that's the selected widget. And then these ones are the options view. So the options view, I think, is the scroll list. If I recall correctly. Yes, it is. Okay. So basically, what I want to do is I want to have the options view only render in post render. So basically get rid of that and then do, yeah, and this. and then put this in here. So doing like this dot options view dot pre-render, render, and then post render. And I think that will work. I believe. Like settings now. Yeah, okay, that works. So the other issue is if I click away from this, it doesn't work. There is also a scroll bar here, I think. Oh no, there isn't. Not on this one. Yeah, but clicking away from it doesn't work. I don't know how to fix that. Oops. I shouldn't have done that. Because when I do that, it kind of breaks everything. I actually don't know exactly what's happening. Uh-oh. I'm kind of considering just removing the resolution option, because every time I try and change the resolution to anything, it just completely breaks. Like, the entire thing just, like, puts... Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to remove that one, now that I think about it. So let me quickly just go and delete the settings file. So I've got to try and find it real quick. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for Mystic Factories. There we go. I have to wait for my computer to wake up. Okay, thank you, computer. Yeah, so yeah, it's completely just kind of broken now because it thinks I'm in 4K. Now I think I can just set it to null, or I can actually just remove this completely and it will just set it to the default values. So if I do that, yeah, that's fixed it. Now I'm just going to remove the resolution thing from the UI for the time being. So if I go settings UI, which I have to find because things are not necessarily in the best places right now. If I just comment this out, basically that will get rid of it. And it should like automatically, yeah, like it's fine. Now this is not centered, which is kind of pissing me off. Now, as for how to fix that, kind of a pain in the butt. Like a good first thing to do, actually, real quick, turn off VSync. If I change this to forward, yeah, I do have a scroll bar, so that works at least. Okay, but you can see here, like, this should be being clipped, right? But it's obviously not being clipped. Yeah, I mean, I can't click on any of these. I don't know why. I need to figure that out. Because it should, in theory, I find, yeah, mouse button press. It checks if it's inside. Oh, I guess checking if it's inside isn't gonna work. Oh, no, never mind. It should, because then it hits this else if. As if it's open and option views not null, then it does option view dot on mouse button press, which should delegate to the scroll list, and then it should basically go widget dot on mouse button press. So that should work. But I guess, now that I think about it, that's not actually going to do anything, is it? Because, yeah, of course that's not going to do anything, because inside of it is just a bunch of text labels. They're not actually like a clickable thing. Oh no, they are a clickable thing. Of course they are, because they're option entries. I forgot about that. So we go pre-render, render, post-render. On mouse button release. It should just do on click.run. I don't know why I put these here. That's such a weird place to put them. I don't know why I put them there. Okay. Yeah, so if you left click and you're inside of it, then it should run the on click. And I don't know why it's not doing that. I guess we can breakpoint it and see. You can see what happens. So settings. Okay, that's gonna not really work, is it? Okay, first of all, why is it? Oh, of course, because it's running for every entry. But it shouldn't do that, because that should only happen after the first click. Like, this shouldn't be being called. If we look at on mouse button release, it says if this dot open. Yeah, because presumably this is set. Where do I set this again? What's been your favorite thing about developing this so far? I don't know. I do quite enjoy writing out the abstraction to have these things, right? I think that's quite fun. Because you're basically building like a massive framework from scratch, which is always pretty fun. I think what's actually going to be the most fun is like multiplayer. Like, it's going to be a pain in the butt, but it's also going to be really fun. And it's going to be fun because it's cool, right? I'm probably going to use Steamworks 4J. See if I can quickly bring this up. This, which basically gives you straight access to the Steamworks API. I don't actually know, like, if it has any documentation. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So I'm gonna look at that at some point. But yeah, obviously right now I just want to get other things working. I think once I've done this UI stuff, I'm gonna start working a little more on world gen. So I want to have like biomes and stuff. But yeah, that'll be a whole thing when I get to that. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so the problem is that open is being set in here. Wait, no, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. It is. That's the problem. It's being set in here. Let me just see. Yeah, see, this happens on release. Just kind of a pain in the butt. What I could do is I could have a quick flag in here, which would be like below open, I could have a private boolean opened this frame, and then what I would do is when this happens, so when this is set, toggle open. So what this will do is no, probably not there actually. If this dot is open, then what we're going to do is we're going to set this dot open this frame is equal true, and then as if this dot is open, and then this will only be no, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And then what I do in here, so if this is open and not this will open this frame, right? And then set that to false in there, because that's on release. So that should work. I think. If we go settings, it's not though, is it? Why isn't that working? On mouse button release, it should call options view on mouse button release, which in turn should call on mouse button release. Let me try this real quick. Let's breakpoint this again. Let's see if we can figure this out. Okay. So. The person is left and is inside. So we need to have a look at is inside, really. So mouse X is greater than get X. So what is... Yeah. I need to see basically if on-click runs. That's actually what I'm kind of more interested about, right? Wait. This is running dropdown widget.isInside, isn't it? Yeah, it is. This is running dropdown widget.isInside. But that's not going to work. Because we need to know if we're inside this widget. Because I think, or at least I thought, widget had an isInside. No, apparently not, which is interesting. So we can just do that. Yeah, get rid of that. We can do contains points. The last mouse provided double. I guess this can be a double. Sure. Doesn't really matter. And then, yeah, that can now be static as well. And then this can be contains points. And by doing that, I think that will work. Nice. It does. Okay, now the next thing is to get it to close by clicking off of it, which I think should be very simple. Hello, Aleatorio. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think it would be pretty simple. So else open is equal false. I think that's it. Although I think I need to call toggle open. Don't I? See what that does. New project? Kind of? I mean, yeah, kind of. Kind of, but also not really. I mean, I started this a very long time ago, right? But like this specific version of it is new, yes. So, okay, this isn't working actually, which is interesting. Else if this dot is open and this dot options view is not equal null. Oh, I see. What I could do is I could say if this dot options view dot contains points last mouse X, last mouse Y, then do that, else this dot open is equal false. And I think that would then mean nice. So now that closes when that's not focused. Okay, so the next thing then is to get the clipping working or scissoring working. Also, scrolling is inverted. I don't know how that's happened, but scrolling is inverted. So let's try and figure out why that's happening. So if we look at scroll list, probably because that's meant to be plus equals, I believe. I think it's meant to be plus equals. I'm not 100% sure. We can see. Second. Okay. Yeah, that now works. So let's fix that. Okay. I think scissoring shouldn't be too hard. Maybe? If we go to... I mean, yeah, this isn't going to be anything to do with the drop down. This is going to be to do with the scroll list itself, right? So... scissoring? Yes, Alex. Scissoring. Now get your head out of the gutter. I honestly don't remember how you do scissoring. He is indeed always thinking about something dirty. You're correct. Sure, I'll Google it. How to do scissoring. Okay, never mind. It actually doesn't come up with with anything with anything OpenGL related. Okay. Good to know. Right, regardless. Okay. So apparently you just use GL scissors. I don't know where that is though. Like I don't know what class that's in. I'm trying to friggin' find the class it's gonna be in. And we can go one by one, but I don't really want to go one by one. Why? Okay, there's nothing that says what friggin' class it's in. Okay. In that case, we're going to have to cheat. And we're going to have to ask Codex to figure out what class it's in. Because Google just doesn't want to tell me, I guess. So... that's always nice. Okay. Can you... fix the scroll list so that items which are outside the view are cut off. And it will probably know how to use, or it will probably know about your scissor. Have you learnt rev matching? No. I have not. I'm too scared of doing it. Because I friggin' hate when you go down a gear. Like, going down a gear whilst you're, yeah, it's just... I hate when the friggin' car jolts. It's horrible. And if you do that whilst revving, like, it's just gonna... Bro, it's just gonna absolutely friggin' destroy everything. It's not that... Bro, it is. It's very scary wide. Bro, I feel like this isn't that hard. Why? Am I crazy? Don't you literally just call GL scissor and you pass in the X, Y, the width, and the height? Or am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. I thought that's all you had to do. Scissor state. I see. What the fuck is that? Really? Is this necessary? What is a scissor state? I don't know if you need to do that or not. Let's at least see if it works. And then we'll go from there. It has actually worked. Fair enough. Okay. Also, this shouldn't be scrollable. But whatever, that's fine. I don't really care about that. I also need to fix the FPS because it doesn't actually change the frame rate for some reason. And I don't really know why. So... I need to figure that out. So... if I go settings... Get FPS cap. Here we go. So this one. I mean, this should just get the FPS cap every time. I don't know why that wouldn't update. Like if I breakpoint this. Let's see what it actually says it is. Would be a good thing to do. So if we step into get FPS cap, that will say this.fps cap, which is 240. Okay, so then yeah, I mean that should be fine. Unless somewhere maybe VSync is enabled. I mean, it says in the settings that VSync is off, but I think it's maybe on. I mean, this could even be a it could just be an NVIDIA thing, to be honest. Let me open NVIDIA app and have a look. It could be that my default settings are to have a cap of 60 FPS. That might be a thing I enabled. I maybe don't want that to show on that screen. I don't remember what the NVIDIA app shows initially. Hello? Because I found that in Minecraft I can't get more than 60 FPS either. Even though I definitely can. So let's try and figure out if I can see. It's interesting actually. The NVIDIA overlay should come up, no? Graphics, here we go. This is what I was looking for. If I find the global settings, aha, max frame rate 60 FPS. There we go. So if I set that to off, I don't know if that will straight away change things. I assume not. Yeah, so it doesn't immediately change things. There you go. That's better. So now we get 200 FPS. Or it seems to be capping at 190. I don't know why. Probably because it is actually capped, isn't it? Like if I get rid of that. Get out of here. Nope, not you. You. Then go back to there. Maybe my my FPS calculation is wrong. Because I shouldn't be getting 13 less FPS than the FPS cap. If I do 240, what was it? So it goes up to 194. Which is, or 195 it caps out at. That's 45 less. If I do 60, do I get 60? No, it caps out at 57. So I think something must be wrong with the FPS cap. Now I don't know what. I don't know. And also when I don't have it focused, it goes down to 30. Interesting. What if I put it back up to 240 and then play? Yeah, so it doesn't. It's obviously got some like weird capping logic. It's not correct. How do I even ask it? For some reason, the FPS is being capped below the FPS cap. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if I'm actually getting this FPS. Like, this could be wrong. My calculation could be wrong, but I could actually be getting 240. If I run it on my main monitor, NVIDIA should be able to tell me what FPS I'm getting. Maybe. No. NVIDIA does not want to tell me what FPS I'm getting. Maybe if I run it full screen? I actually can't change the settings in game, so I have to restart to go full screen. You know, I'm just gonna ask it and see if it can figure it out. Maybe it'll know. For some reason, the FPS is being capped below the FPS cap. Capping at 60 causes me to max out at 57 FPS. Capping at 240 causes me to max out at 195 we said? Let's see what it says. Okay. It repeatedly sleeps 1 millisecond, which is... Does it? Isn't that... No, that's not what you're meant to do, is it? I don't remember. What are you meant to do? Considering a more precise timing method combining busy waits with nano sleep. What the fuck is nano sleep? I have never heard of nano sleep before. Is that actually a thing? But what has it done then? Oh, yes. You're meant to use on-spin weights. That's right. That is correct. But let's see if that actually fixes it or not. So we should now get 240. 237, but close enough. Close enough, I would say. Well, that was a weird 1 FPS drop. I think it's when I moved the window around. I don't know why. Oh, because when you're moving the window, it doesn't render, right? Or something. Something like that. So if I put this back down to 120, what does it do? Yeah, it's basically capping at 120. Oops. Oh, that did actually put it to 60. Yeah, and then it caps out at 60. Okay, that's fine. It's probably just a rounding error at this point. Yeah, I think it's just a rounding error. Because I should actually be getting 120. There's no reason why I wouldn't get 120 if I can get constant, you know, 238. I can probably get higher than that. Okay. Okay, but that's pretty good. So next thing I want to do is I want to have a way to disable widgets. And also like turn the visibility off as well. Now, I can't be bothered to go through all of my widget classes, so I'm once again going to cheat. Because this is otherwise a pretty big refactor. And I can't be bothered to do it. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to quickly commit what I've changed thus far. Because I've actually changed quite a lot. I do need to, since this has come in and done its stuff, I need to run this. No, don't do that. CD source and then do that. There we go. Okay. and then go back to codec. So I just wanted to add a disabled and visible state. Visible is easy because that's just an if condition around the rendering. Disabled, a little bit more complicated. I mean, it just means that mouse clicks, key button presses, etc. will just be ignored. That's just an if statement around those. And then rendering it has to render it a little bit darker. So I guess that's going to be rendering dependent. So I'm going to get to add the visibility one first. The widget class and make sure all of the child classes respect that. All right. I'm also going to push so that it doesn't like try and yeet my commits. I trust Codex won't do that, but you never know. Invisible shouldn't affect input, right? I think that's reasonable to assume that, or should it? I don't know, actually. If something is set to not visible, should that automatically mean that it also shouldn't accept clicks and stuff? I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, what does JavaFX do when you set something to not be visible? Can you still click on it? I don't think you can. And I'm also trying to think, what does Minecraft do? I think in Minecraft, if it's not visible, you can still click on it. I think. I'm not sure. Skip. Yeah, that wants to skip input, so that's fine, I guess. If that's what it thinks is the best approach, then that's fine. That's what I will do. Okay, I'm quickly going to go ahead and fix that it just did. Or contains point. This contains point. Oh, this is widget list. That's why. It needs to be like that. There we go. Okay. I love it when you do so many changes and it just works. So rare, but so that is true. It happens really rarely. Like, very rarely. But yeah, when it does happen, it is high. Oh, I just realized. I think it's actually still inside of source. I don't think I ever CD'd back to the project directory. But good job, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I don't know how you would even do disabled. Like, is there a way that you could just automatically make it look disabled? I don't think so. I guess maybe you could just draw could you just draw like semi-transparent dark rectangle over it? I guess you could, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna need to go through all of these classes and just fix the formatting of some things. So like you, and then what's happened down here? You. Okay, and then abstract button as well. Go to that, go to that. I wish I would just look at my existing code and format it how the friggin' rest is formatted rather than try and be different. Okay, a lot of changes in here. That's fine. Fine. That one is not fine. That one's not fine. That one's not. I think these are all going to be the same. Boom, 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 and that's all of them. Okay, next is scroll bar. You know what I could do actually? Can I just find that and then replace it with that? Does that work? Maybe even just do what is it, Control Shift R? Place all. Is that gonna work? I think so. I'm just looking at the GitHub changes to see what it says. I think that has actually worked. Yeah, that has actually worked. That's lovely. Okay, good. Let me quickly also just come out of this. Okay. I want to go back quickly because I want to resume that session. Okay. Can you also do the same for a disabled flag? So when it's disabled, it will still be visible, though darker, and not accept input. Let's see. And then once it's done this, I don't really know what I'm gonna do after that. Obviously I could spend a long time on UI, right? I could add all these different UI components. At some point I need to develop an animation system so I can have animatable textures. But that's kind of a pain to do. Which is why I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put this on my own monitor so I can keep track of it. Okay. All looks like it's added everything fine. Now, I don't know how it's going to do the rendering. Oh, I see. It's blending the colors. Interesting. I guess that works. I don't know how it's going to do that with everything, though. All looks fine. Yeah, I think that's all fine. Okay, so now it knows that it doesn't want to add braces around the things. It's kind of funny. Okay, was it done? Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Let's continue. Come on. What's it done here? Yep, that's all fine. Okay, drop down. Okay. Whilst it's doing that, I need to think about what I am gonna do next. I'm thinking, I mean, I do kind of want to partially continue with the UI because I want to have a tab UI, right? So when you go into the settings, I don't want it to just be all of the settings. I want it to be different tabs, right? And I think that actually should be fairly simple, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Obviously, I'll wait for this to finish first, because it is still doing stuff. But yeah, tabs, I don't think should be too hard, right? You have one tab that's selected. When you click on that tab, it just changes the content it renders, right? I think that should be it. But we'll see. Yeah, they shouldn't be too hard. The hard part is if you want to have like draggable tabs, that's where things get a little bit more complicated. But even then, I don't think it should be too hard. The other thing I'm going to have to do at some point is a text input. But once again, that shouldn't be too hard, right? That's just basically a text label that you can edit, right? I mean, that's it. So that shouldn't be too bad either. You should start making game dev videos? No. I'm not gonna do that. No one would watch them. Literally no one would watch them. Okay, fine, fine. Just you would watch them, Wide, but no one else would watch them. It would just be you watching them. Okay. I'm gonna commit that. Yeah, so I don't know what's more of a priority. If I should do input, text input first, or if I should do tabs. I think let's do... I don't know, actually. Text input's kind of a pain because I'll have to implement, like, copy-pasting. I'll have to implement... selecting. And having a cursor. You should start making Java tutorials again. You know, I would, but no one watched them, which is why I stopped making them, because no one watched them. So, you know. I'm used to make Java tutorials, now you're decently versed in Java. You know, I will say, being able to teach someone something is actually just like the easiest way, and the easiest and the best way to actually learn something, right? To be able to teach it to someone else means you have to understand it. So you basically force yourself to understand it. It's really good, actually. It's you know, you learn a lot by teaching things to someone or explaining things, because it means you have to understand it. I would make so many mistakes or not know how to answer comments. Okay, well, don't publish them then. Right? Even just recording the video, right? Even trying to, like, pretend you're recording it for someone to watch, you would still force yourself to understand and learn it. It would be very good, I think. Okay, I'm gonna do a text input. Extends widgets. Here we go. You want me to pretend to record a YouTube video about Java? Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So we're gonna have a string text. We are gonna have a private. Sure, we can have a max length. That's fine. We can also have a private boolean focused. Sure. We can also have a private. Sure. We can also have a. No, I'll do a password thing separately. I don't want password. I want a cursor, so we can have a cursor. I'm gonna have to make a new cursor class. Extends widget. The only problem is that widgets accept inputs, whereas this actually doesn't do that. Okay, well, we can get rid of the width and the height, right? And just set these to like some decent value, like I guess the height technically would be based on the font size, right? And I guess so would the width. So sure, we'll pass those in. Well, no, it wouldn't. The width wouldn't. The height would. But the width will still be 1 always. The height will be the font height. So like private font, and then basically this will be set to font dot get line height, and then we'll pass font in there. The sort of font is equal font. This is at not null. And then I can also have a public void set font, and then this sort of height is, that's fine. I can just do set size like that. And then render, basically I can just fill a rect. So yeah, so we can have a color as well, which will be a private int color, and we're going to want that as well, actually, what it just suggested, which is a blink timer and a blink interval, which we can just have a private int blink interval like that. And fill rect isn't a thing, it's just raw rect. XY width height color. But the color will need to be is that correct? What it's just done? I think so, yeah. So int color will be equal to color helper dot blend colors the T will be that, right? I think so. And then we'll have set color. Well, we'll also have getters for both of these. We'll have getter, we'll have getter, we'll have getter, we'll have getter, we'll have setter. Yeah. Well, actually, we don't want a setter for this one, because in here we just need to validate. Say that's not allowed, right? So we can just clamp it. So set this to math dot max between 1 and that. Yeah, I think that will work. So that should get us a cursor. Cursor is equal to a new cursor, which will need to take in the X, the Y. So we'll just do 0, 0, fonts dot default font. But we'll need to actually have a font in here, so we'll have a private font atlas font. That'll just take in font like that. Okay, And then what we'll do is super.render doesn't exist. Yeah, that's true. That does need to be getters. Same with the heights. You're gonna be able to code your game in Railroad one day? No, that makes no sense. I mean, well, I mean, technically, it could, like, kind of. Like, technically, I could, but it's just a matter of, like, why would I do that? Right? Railroad isn't going to be designed for that. So, you know. We need to have a private int char index will be set to 0, and then we can do get position, and we can also set position as well. And then what that should mean is that I guess that won't work because we would need to get the width of the string. So I don't think the cursor should have, it shouldn't store its position. It would be better to just set the cursor position, right? So, we would just do cursor.render context, and then set text like that. We're going to call update cursor position. Okay, let's have a, oh no, I guess that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So we can have get text, we can have set focused, is focused, set placeholder, set font, update cursor position. This will just measure the text width like that. And yeah, the rest will be input, which we can deal with in a second. If placeholder is equal null, we'll just set placeholder to be an empty string, so that doesn't cause us any problems. That can just be a getter. Set focus, that's fine. That's fine. Text is equal null, then text can just be equal to that. That's fine. Okay. Good. Okay, so set text, that's fine. Okay, update cursor position should probably also say this dot cursor dot set to visible, and that should be equal to is focused and the text is not empty, which should be fine. And then what we also want is to actually have a private int cursor position. Yeah, which get y plus get height negative stop font dot get height. But I thought the stream was gonna end early. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Okay. Let me just have a look. Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly sort something out. Wrong one. This one. Alright, I am back. I've just been trying to figure out what time I actually need to be up tomorrow. I don't really know. I don't have a definitive answer, but I cannot just wait around. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide what train I need to friggin' get tomorrow. Yeah, because I don't want to friggin' have to get up at 5 o'clock. I really don't. So if I can avoid that, then I will. But yeah. I'm just trying to find a train that looks reasonable. But my auntie reckons the train I want to get is a bad idea because it gets there 40 minutes early, which is apparently cutting it very fine, is what she said. So I don't know, man. I think I'm probably going to stream to a normal time tonight, and then I will just go straight to bed afterwards. I think that's what I'm going to do. So what does what mean? What are you confused about? Which part of what I just said are you confused about? Cursor position. This is never updated. Yeah, so... Well, she said, basically, me getting there 40 minutes early is cutting it fine, right? So basically, too risky. Because apparently, because what if the train's cancelled? But I mean, even if the train, like, here's the thing: if the train is cancelled, I'm fucked regardless. like I don't know, man. Like, what am I gonna do if the train is cancelled? It's not like there's... Like, if the train is cancelled, then I can't get there on time regardless, you know? Because the chances are, realistically, if, let's say that train was cancelled, right? It's probably cancelled because the train I would be on broke down or something, right? So either way, I wouldn't end up getting there for 9 o'clock. It just wouldn't happen. So I think it's fine. And like, if the train's cancelled, that's not my fault, you know? Like, I will just message and say, hey, my train's cancelled, I'm going to be late. Like, what are they going to do? That's not like, you know, they can't be mad at me for that. Because, like, I still plan to be there 40 friggin' minutes early, right? So I think it's fine. Plus, I don't need to be there at 9 anyways. Like, that's what they've said, because obviously it's meant to be work experience. But like, I don't need to be there for 9. I'm not like required to be in any meetings or anything. So, you know, it's fine. Okay. Why does this just... What? Copilot, that's not correct. Oh, I see. I see. Because you meant to do it on press, right? Okay, why is it not liking this? Why is Copilot not wanting to insert the key? Is it because of the super method? The super method doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to remove the super method. Is it because of this? C code is equal 259. Is that backspace? Is that correct? We can use GLFW, right? backspace. There you go. Text is empty, then it returns. This.text is equal this.text for substring, this.cursor position -1 plus, yep, that's fine. Cursor position -, update. That's fine. And then I need to return, right? No? Okay. Else if it's delete, then, yep, that's fine. If it's left, -, if it's right, ++. Else if key code is glfw.end, then we want to go to the end, right? If it's home, we want to go to the start. What else is there? What else are the common enter focus is equal false, visible is equal false? No. What is KP enter? Are there two enter keys? Oh, there are. Right, because there's the one on the numpad and then there's the other one. So which one's which? I assume this is the one on the numpad. KP enter. Regardless, I don't really care about that. Well, I guess I could, actually. I could do enter or that. Sure, I guess that makes sense, actually. Else on chart input? Is that a thing? No. I was going to say I didn't think that was a thing. Public, we can have a protected void on our inputs. Okay. And then we can say on our inputs. Okay. The other thing we can do is have a selection, right? So we can have a private final selection range. Okay, and then we can have a public static class selection range. We can have getters and setters. Sure, that's fine. And then all we have to do is in post render sure, but more importantly we want to render the selection range, right? So context, no, I mean pre-render. You do draw selection afterwards, not before, right? Maybe you do draw it before, actually. I suppose you do, don't you? Now that I think about it. What is this? Get X? Get Y? I don't know. Okay, let's do some color stuff. That's fine. Let's do some color stuff. So let's have a private int background color. Let's have a border color. Let's have a private int focus border color. Let's have a private int border width. Let's have a private int padding, sure. I was more thinking a private int selection color. And let's also have a private int text color. Is there anything else that it thinks? No. Okay. So... okay. So... on chart input. Yeah. I mean, the cursor shouldn't be visible when you have a selection, right? How do you... This is where things get a little bit more complicated. So, like, when we go ahead and render this, right? So, we draw the text, but we need to think about what happens before we draw the text. So... do that. I think it'd be a good idea to just draw a rect, right? And then draw... so if we draw rect, get X, get Y, get width, get height, right? And then this dot border color, or just border color. And then that'll be X plus border width, Y plus border width, width negative border width times 2, Y times 2. Oh yeah, because of the left and the right. And then background color. Okay. And then I think it should draw the selection before it draws the text. So if this dot selection range dot start is not equal to the end, yeah, that's fine, because obviously if it's 0, 0, then they're equal. That's fine. So then that draws the selection, and then the text color equal text is empty. Okay, that's true. So we're going to want a private int placeholder color. So then this will just become, where is it? Oh, here. Then it'll be this dot placeholder color, this dot text color, which handles both of those. The final one is then just the padding, which is going to be interesting. So should I just do like padding plus X? No, right? Not sure how to do padding. Maybe we just get rid of padding for now, and maybe we come back to that. Because I don't know how you would do that. Okay, so next is selection. Now, selection should just be mouse click. So mouse press, and then mouse release. Okay. So we can get the mouse X. We just have to use mouse move to track it. So we can have a private float last mouse X, last mouse Y, and then inside of here we just set that like that, and then else set focus to false. Sure, that's fine. I mean, this should really happen on release, right? So if I mean, this doesn't need to be like that, actually. We can just use that one method. What's it called? What's that method called in widgets? Contains points, that's it. There we go, like that. And this should only be if left. And then if it does not contain the points, no. So if it does contain the points, then what we want to do is, let's think. Well, we want to get the character at that point, right? So let's look at where, first of all, the text is actually like drawn. So it's X plus 4, then plus the width. Oh no, that's the cursor position. It's just X plus 4. So we can say and that should really happen. Well, no, I guess not, right? And this shouldn't happen in press, but I guess what we can do is we can say selection range, but set start to be the cursor position, set end to be the cursor position. And then what we'll do is on move, we will say selection range dot set end to be wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I just realized. Right, so we want to get the character that's at that position. So how the fuck do we do that? Interesting. Int. And what's this gonna do? I guess that works. I mean, technically, yes. Right, because that would mean that it's basically going through each character, measuring the width of it up to that point and seeing if it's within that range or not, which I think would work. So that means cursor position is equal pause. So then in mouse move, we have to do a similar thing, right? Because let's think, if you type something and then you go to select it, it completely ignores the Y position. It's based on the position you start at, right? I mean, I guess the thing is, if I click somewhere, that is where the cursor goes, right? Like, if I say click here, and then I select, the cursor is here, right? It's still there. And when I select it, I can go down. I mean, obviously, I guess this is different in IntelliJ because it's multi-line, but like in something else, I can go down, and it would stay in line with that, right? So I guess that only happens when you've gone past that. Once you've gone past that character, then that character gets selected, right? So does that mean update cursor position is what actually needs to update the selection range? No, that can't be right. So it sets the start and the end to the pause, right? And then in here, I'm kind of concerned because Copilot isn't trying to do this, but I feel like there should be something in here that then updates it, right? Or is press called whilst it's down? I don't remember. I don't think it is, right? But I think basically this just needs to be copied across, and then the end just becomes the pause. The cursor position doesn't change, right? But we ensure that it is, well, I guess we don't even change focus because that's completely irrelevant, right? One thing we should do is, if end is less than start, then end should be equal to start. And then also wait, if end is less than start, then what should happen is this dot start should equal end, and then this dot end should be equal this way around, right? So the end will be equal to the current start, and then the start will be equal to the new end, because the end is less than the current start. So then in the else statement, the end is just equal to the end and the start doesn't change, I think. So by doing that, that means that we can just set the end there and that doesn't matter. Okay. So, is that it? And that's not going to account for like Control C or like backspaces aren't going to do anything. But we should be able to like select text, I believe. I guess we don't have a text input anywhere though. So let's just make one so that we can at least try this. So list.add child. Oh, what we do need to do actually is we need to make a builder. So public static class builder. That's far from being a builder. That's literally nothing. It needs to have so many more things than that. Width, heights, private. Let's just go through and have a look. Int, max length, placeholder. Wait, why is it not working? Alright, good night, wide. Okay, font. Private. Font. Atlas. Font. Private. Yeah, we're going to want the background color, border color, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then all of these, which are going to take a while. Okay, why is Copilot not... Bro. It's not doing the whole friggin' method. It's just skipping the last... Whatever. Hey, thank you. Finally. Right. Oh, is it because there's no set max length? That does need to be a thing. Public void set max length. Boom. Right. All of these will need setters as well. But I am going to actually go ahead and end the stream here. It's a little bit early, but... Well, I say a little bit early. 9 minutes early. We're not going to be able to test this today, I don't think. I mean, I guess we can maybe try real quick and try it something, but I don't think it's going to work. Let's just quickly see if we can try something or not. Builder.build, I guess. I mean, that should get us something, right? No, there's actually nothing. I suppose because it doesn't have a width and a height, right? So if we run again. Okay, so we have a text input. Okay, I can type. It is in all caps though. Oh, didn't like caps lock. Because yeah, characters out of bounds. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to come back to that. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I know it's not what we initially planned to stream today. But Railroad will be back next weekend on Saturday and Sunday, 7 PM GMT. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. And I will see you all next week. Goodbye.